This podcast is for educational and informational purposes only. It should not be used to substitute the advice from your medical professional or primary care provider. If you are having any kind of medical issue or emergency, you should call 911 or go to your nearest emergency room, urgent care center, or consult with your doctor.
Welcome to Healthcare Snitches. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Healthcare Snitches.
Welcome to episode 11. We on a roll. All right. So before we get started, just wanted to remind you guys to subscribe to our YouTube channel, to like the channel, and turn on your alerts so that you get notifications when we post new episodes every other Sunday. Also, follow us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
That's right.
And also follow us on all the social media platforms. So Facebook, Instagram, TikTok.
Yes, because what we've been doing recently is we've been releasing shorts before the episode. So
yeah, so check that out so you can see what the next topic will be before we drop it, and get some sneak peeks into what we'll be doing. And we'll be going live soon as well. So those topics will be more up in the air.
Yep, everything she said.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so today's topic is breaking generational curses when it comes to healthcare. How many of you guys can relate to that? I know I can.
I can too.
Y'all gotta excuse me. I was just eating some Chipotle, and my throat is just me.
I can't. You and your elaborating. I
know, because I keep clearing my throat.
So breaking generational curses in healthcare. This is a tough one, especially in our community, right? We have a lot of things that have been passed down by our parents that are good, and a lot of things that have been passed down that are not so good.
Yeah.
Downright dangerous. Okay? What are some things that you have been passed down that, since you've been in healthcare and a nurse, have found to be bull crap, pretty much?
Some things that were passed down that were bull crap?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Things that were, I don't really know if that would be part of my generational curse history. One of the things that I can definitely relate to is my mom was afraid of the dentist, and she raised me to be afraid of the dentist. And I only used to go if it was something urgent, like if I had pain or something. So like I make sure Corey goes every 6 months for her checkups and all that stuff. I didn't grow up like that.
Yeah.
And it's because my mom was afraid of the dentist. So we just didn't go. We had dental insurance through her job. We just did not go. But some things that were passed down, I can't really even, I don't know of anything.
Yeah, when I think about it too, maybe this is not a good topic for us to personally relate to, because all my life my mom was a nurse. So it's not like she was like telling us nonsense about healthcare or anything like that. Like if we were sick, we would always go to the doctor. We always made sure we had all our vaccines.
Yeah.
If we needed to go to the ER, she took us there. If we needed to go to urgent care, she took us there too.
It was urgent care out when you was young?
Yeah, because one day I fell and I cut my finger open, and she rushed me to the urgent care to get stitches.
Those weren't out when I was little.
It wasn't called urgent care. It was more so like a Medi-Merge or like a clinic.
Wait a minute. I know one thing that was passed down.
What?
And I still do it. Ginger ale cures everything.
Yeah.
And ginger ale is so fake. It's just
to the point where when I got the good ginger ale from Whole Foods, I said, "Oh, this is too real for me. I can taste the ginger."
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Ginger ale for an upset stomach, and let my baby throw up at home. We gonna get her some room temperature ginger ale.
Yes, ginger ale, some crackers. Although it is probably worse for you because of all the sugar.
Yeah.
The ginger is supposed to settle it is supposed to settle your stomach.
If we had some real ginger.
Right. But there is no real ginger in our typical Canada Dry and Schweppes. No. There's no.
Is it Schweppes?
It's not. Oh! But somebody pronounced it like that. And so I will, going forward, say it like that.
Schweppes?
Yeah.
Where did you hear that?
Oh, TikTok.
Oh my gosh,
Schweppes. Because what Schweppes did is they had to recall a bunch of their zero sugar ginger ales because they were actually full sugar. So
that sounds about right.
Keep an eye out for that. Got people out here dying and getting diabetes and getting their limbs chopped off because of that.
Oh my God. Okay. So yeah, so that's one of the things that I could and another thing, but this is true. Dairy products create mucus.
Oh yeah.
So like when I had a cold, my mom wouldn't let me have milk or
me neither.
Ice cream or any of those things.
Your mama was right.
Yeah, those things do create mucus.
Yeah. For me, there were a lot of things like that, right? Especially with my mom coming from a different country where, well, I guess some of them were valid, like the ginger ale, the Vicks, okay? You was going to get rubbed down with Vicks, all right? Head to toe, bottom of your feet, your chest, let them vapor rubs and them vapors come up.
I still use Vicks for Corey.
Yeah, I do too. Well, not for Corey, but for me and them kids.
Yeah.
So, you was going to get rubbed down with Vicks. You're going to drink some hot tea, okay? You're going to get the ginger ale sometimes. My mom definitely believed that apple juice helped with diarrhea because it has something called pectin in it. She always used to tell me this growing up, and I'm like, okay, and it did help.
Oh, that's something that you are teaching me.
Right. I'm like, okay, pectin, okay, knowing little enzymes or whatever ingredients in the apple, probably just give me an apple. But an apple a day actually makes you go to the bathroom.
Yeah,
that's a different story.
But it's a lot in the skin.
That's true. And maybe the juice binds whatever with the diarrhea. I actually don't know. I never looked into it. I just trusted her and did what she told me to do. And I like apple juice, so it was fine.
Yeah. I never knew that.
Yeah. So she had a lot of those. I think more so she had a lot of old wives' tales around pregnancy. So when I was pregnant, she'd be like, don't reach for anything above your head in a cabinet because you're going to strangle the baby. The umbilical cords are going to get wrapped around the baby's neck. Don't walk around barefoot ever, according to her, because that makes your cramps worse when you get your period.
Well, I always wear slippers, but not for that reason.
Yeah. She would never let me take showers in the morning.
Why?
Because she said it opens up your pores, and if it's cold outside, then you're going to get sick.
I mean, taking a shower does open up your pores. But one thing that I grew up learning is that if you don't dress warm, you're going to catch a cold. And you cannot catch a cold because a cold is a virus. You cannot catch a cold by air. So in the wintertime, we can literally wash our hair and go outside with our hair wet and not get sick.
So when those people be like, why that baby ain't got no coat on?
It's just because it's cold outside and they need a coat on.
Okay.
But you really cannot get sick from air. And that's what I grew up. You're going to catch pneumonia if you don't do. And you got to cover your head and, all this stuff.
I mean, when I was in high school and we were going to band camp, they always used to say the rain, because it would rain sometimes, it would be out there just marching. And they'd be like, the rain doesn't make you sick, germs do.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the germs.
Yeah, it is.
Let me find out your band camp was clinical.
There was something they said, you ain't getting off this field.
And another thing that I learned is when you cough, you should raise your hands.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming it helps to expand the lungs.
I think it does. It stretches everything out, especially if you're choking.
Yeah.
When my kids are choking, I'm like, put your hands up.
Yeah. And one thing that does nothing for us is when you're coughing and you pat somebody on the back. It does nothing.
No? Let me find out we need to stop doing that unless they choke.
If they were choking and if it was a baby and you were like holding them by their necks down and you were like thrusting and hitting.
Yeah, because that's Heimlich-like.
Yes, that would help.
Yeah.
But it just seems like the right thing to do though.
Yeah, seems like it'll help.
Yeah.
Maybe it'll make it worse.
Definitely seems like the right thing to do. When Corey was in the high chair, every time she choked, I promise y'all, I would take her out real quick, flip her over, hold her by her throat.
I can't. I can only imagine.
Every time, it never failed. But those are some of the things that we grew up on. But as far as the generational curses aspect of everything, I think one of the foundational issues that travel from family member to family member is ignorance.
Absolutely. A good quote is, sometimes, people go to the doctor and they're like, oh, well, diabetes runs in my family. And I heard a doctor say, no, diabetes doesn't run in your family. Nobody runs in your family. That's why they got diabetes.
Was it Dr. Now?
No.
Oh, okay, because he stays saying something like that.
I don't know who said it, but
really?
Basically, I feel like things like, there is a genetic component. Don't get me wrong. I do feel like you are genetically predisposed to certain conditions like diabetes, and you can be. But I do also feel like it's like nature versus nurture, right? Yeah. So I feel like you inherit the diet and the food and the taste buds of your parents, because they're the ones that are cooking for you. They're buying the food in the house. They're the ones that are shaping your palate and shaping the way you eat and your habits, right? So let's just say you grew up with a parent that liked to eat donuts. You might like to eat donuts. More than likely you will. And if you continue to eat them donuts, you might get type 2 diabetes. Okay? And that's going to be strictly from your nurture, not really your nature.
Right. So there are certain things that you can change, right? You can't change, like Jasmine said, genetics. You can't. But you can put them donuts down.
You can.
You can put those donuts down. You can go for a run, like the running in your family that you spoke
of. Right.
You can do that.
9 times out of 10, it don't really run in your family. Nobody runs in your family. That's the issue.
Yeah. Okay. So, earlier, Jasmine and I was speaking about the ignorance. Some people just don't know stuff.
They don't know. Which is why we have this podcast, right? So that if you know better, you do better. You get educated on topics and what you should be doing, and you take care of yourself. Sometimes, though, you just don't do anything to change it.
Yeah, like how many people are out there who are diabetic and they're drinking sodas every day? They're eating all types of pasta and sugars and stuff. They know they're not supposed to do it, but it tastes so good.
It does. And I also think that a lot of the additives in our food make them addictive.
Yeah.
They make you addicted to it. And so you end up in this vicious cycle, almost like you're on drugs, where you feel like you need to have the soda, you need to have the whatever it is, the saltiness. I don't know. But you just become addicted to these different things.
No, it's like a setup.
Yeah.
So like they set us up for failure. But yes, some people are just completely ignorant when it comes to stuff. And if you grew up under an umbrella of ignorance and you know that your nana had diabetes
and she got her leg chopped off,
you watched her eat whatever she wanted, but you knew that it started with a toe amputation and then another toe amputation, and then she had to get her foot amputated, and then she had to get her leg amputated. Like, this is all ignorance, because you know diabetes runs in your family, because you see nana, and then you continue to feed her those things, you continue to eat like she's eating. That to me is generational.
It is. Yes. I'll tell you one thing. I watched my dad really, really suffer, and he was a very smart man, but when it came to his health and what he wanted to do personally, the smartness went out the window, right? He wanted what he wanted. He wanted to eat his food from his country. He wanted all the cook-up rice. He wanted the roti. He wanted
What's cook-up rice?
It's rice with like black-eyed peas and like pieces of salted meat and pork mixed up with coconut milk.
Oh.
That was his jam. That was his like favorite thing.
That sounds good.
When he got sick and he couldn't eat that, he just wanted cook-up rice.
Okay.
He requested.
So he would eat all of those things. How about the beautiful fruits and vegetables that were there?
Yeah, He would eat that too.
He would.
Yeah. But of course, if you eat one mango, okay, fine. Don't eat 10 though.
Right, because now here you go with one
Right.
foot in the door of the sugars.
And this message is from my mother, okay? Because you don't stop at one mango, honey. You be eating a lot of them.
She does?
Yeah, because she loves fruits and she loves veggies. But, you know, if you overdo it with the fruits, like, you're defeating the purpose.
Yeah.
It's too much.
Yeah, and then you're going to find your A1C high, and you're going to find out you got diabetes.
Exactly.
It's like a thin line. It's a thin line. And your mother is so educated when it comes to healthcare stuff. She knows better. Do better.
She knows better. But then you have your group of people, right, who know better and are just ignorant because they're not doing better. And let's just say they already have diabetes or something, and they know, okay, I'll just eat these 10 mangoes and I'll just take my medication or my insulin.
They know how to work
and
that.
I'll be fine. It'll balance it out.
Yeah.
I mean, it probably will balance it out, but probably not good.
They're living dangerously.
Okay? It's still not good for you. So please don't do it.
Yeah, living dangerously.
Ooh.
Was that me or you?
That was me.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Right,
I know. I don't know if I something like that Chipotle,
honey. Okay, so we talked about being taught to be afraid. And how about those families who feel like health is not important? And like I was telling you before, they may not say, oh, my health is not important, but just their actions. They never go to the doctor. And some of you people are watching, okay?
Yeah.
You don't have a doctor. You don't go to the doctor.
You only go when something is wrong. And you end up in urgent care or the ER.
If they go, then
yeah.
Some people have symptoms and they ignore them. Some people feel like, okay, work is more important, paying these bills are more important, hanging out with their friends is more important, traveling is more important. And a lot of times, if you were not in an environment where you saw that health was prioritized in some way, shape, or form, you can pick up those same bad habits.
You can. And you're not going to put it as a priority until it tells you, right? So your health is one of those things. I always say health is wealth. And we did an episode on this before where, like, prevention is much better than being reactive.
Yeah.
If you don't take care of your wellness, okay, you're going to be forced to take care of an illness at some point. Just know that. And if you're not paying attention to your health because you feel like you don't have time to, or you feel like you have to go to work or you have to do other things, know a few things. Your job don't care that much about you.
They don't care about them at all.
If you died tomorrow, your job will be posted the next day. Maybe that same day. Who even knows? They will clean out your desk. They might say a few nice words about you.
They might send a basket to your family.
They might.
Maybe.
They might even pay for your funeral. But you will still be dead. Okay? Another thing is, you could have all the money in the world, but if you're sick, you can't even spend it.
You can't enjoy it.
If I told you today, I'm going to give you $1 billion, but you have terminal cancer and you're only going to live for the next 3 months, would you keep the $1 billion or would you give it back to me to live longer?
I'm going to give you back that money.
Okay.
So I can live longer. I'm going to.
Okay.
Because I got a child here that needs me.
You're right. So,
what Jasmine said makes total sense. If you have all the money in the world, but you don't have legs to walk on.
My stomach is so loud right now.
Does your stomach want a microphone?
It's trying to speak up. It's trying to say something. I don't know.
You cannot... Some things are not more important than your health. And when you take care of yourself and you have close friends and family that care about you, you are not just doing it for yourself. You're doing it for them as well, right?
Yeah. I think sometimes when you have kids, you try to do it for them. But first and foremost, you should really do it for yourself. You should really make sure that you feel the best you can every day. So that you're showing up for those people too. Showing up for the kids, showing up at your job. You can't do that if you don't take care of yourself. And if you have parents that don't show you, by example, go to the doctor yearly for your checkups. Have a PCP.
Have those screenings.
Have those screenings. Make sure you get your immunizations. Go to the dentist
every 6 months for a checkup
and a cleaning. I didn't start doing that till I was an adult.
Me too. And when I did go, it was trouble.
Yeah, same here. That is a huge thing. And then I don't think a lot of people think about how dental health can impact your physical health.
Yeah, we are going to do an episode on that as well.
It can lead to a whole bunch of stuff.
It can lead to death.
Yeah. Another thing I learned from you.
I taught you that?
Mm-hmm. Girl,
let me just...
I knew it could somehow, but you really broke it down for me. So I was like, oh, let me find out you could be out here dying from a toothache.
It's crazy.
And you can.
And didn't we end up seeing it on the news not too long after we had discussed it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do not want an infection in your mouth, people, to travel to your heart or anywhere else.
You don't, and it can very well happen.
You can become septic, an infection in your blood. And unfortunately, Jasmine and I recently witnessed somebody dying from sepsis.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All for a tooth issue.
Yeah. You definitely don't want that.
So if you think having a yuck mouth is just your teeth look bad and maybe they hurt every once in a while, it can be way more serious than that.
It can be. And what I learned when I started taking Corey to the dentist, I started taking her at the age of, she was 1.5, and they told me that I should have started between 6 and 9 months, even if she didn't have any teeth.
Let me find out they just want to take a look at the gums.
Yes.
See all over there.
That's what they said.
For what?
I don't know.
Now that's just, I get it, but also I don't. Because, like, Aaliyah didn't start getting teeth until she was, like, 15 months.
Well,
like, not one tooth sprouted. I'm like, is everything okay? Are you going to get teeth? Do some people not? I started Googling, like, do some kids not get teeth?
Is that common?
Not really, but she got them, right? We hear now. She eating steak and all types of stuff. So she got teeth.
Yeah, but, and even if you Google it, it will tell you that.
Oh, I failed all my children then. Well,
I failed Corey too.
You weren't that late though.
I wasn't that late. And the eye doctor, she's supposed to have been gone at this point of her life. I've never taken her to an eye doctor.
But she gets her vision checked at her pediatrician though.
She does, but they're saying she should have a full eye exam by this age. Have you taken your kids?
No.
Oh, so we both failed our kids together. All right.
I know for a fact I was at least seeing an ophthalmologist because I had glasses at like 6.
Right. So how do you get glasses at that young age if your parents are not taking you?
Well, because I said I can't see the board. And my brothers had glasses, so I wanted glasses too. But I really couldn't see the board.
That early?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Maybe I did it a little earlier because I wanted to because they did.
Okay.
But also I couldn't see it.
I need to take my baby to the eye doctor.
Is she complaining that she can't see it?
No, I just feel like I'm failing her.
All right. Well, let's break them generational curses.
I don't think my mama ever took me to the eye doctor. I can't tell you one time.
Well, you were good though. You just started having vision problems.
Everybody in my family was wearing glasses on my mama's side, and I was the only one out here like, it's a bird, it's a plane.
Right, 2020 vision.
Yes, 2020 vision. Up until I turned 40. Once I turned 40, it was it was yes. But I learned in nursing school that that's age appropriate.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It should start to deteriorate around 40.
Okay.
So I stuck in there.
You did.
I did.
You did, and you made it.
While all my other family members were wearing glasses as kids.
Mm-hmm. So you breaking generational curses, and I, in my opinion, the vision test that they do at the pediatrician is sufficient unless she complains of issues. Until she gets to maybe like, I don't know, until she complains of issues. That's just my opinion.
She's been rocking those things out since years ago.
Yeah.
The pediatrician.
Yeah, because then you'll start to see, like, unless there's some other issue that's creating an ocular like issue, then I wouldn't feel like you're failing because of that. Just to say. But about breaking these generational curses, it's hard. Because if you grew up one way, you have to get yourself out of that mindset. It's really all in your mind. So if your parents never took you to the doctor or they never went to the doctor, you may feel like, I don't need them telling me, how to feel or about my body. I don't know. I never experienced this, so I don't know because my mom was quick to take us somewhere unless she could fix us at home, which she a lot of the times did. But other than that, it was never a thing about don't go to the doctor, don't take medicine, because that's another thing too. There's a huge thing about, okay, you can go there, but you don't want to take the medicine.
Wait,
no,
what?
Take medicine.
Oh, some patients refusing the medication.
Yeah, because they don't feel like, it's for them or they don't want to take, I don't know what
there's
their
a lot of
reasons
patients that refuse medication.
Yeah, like cut that out. That I think is a generational thing. That
ignorance once again.
Yeah, again, as Kim said, ignorance.
Yeah.
Another generational issue in healthcare, I would say, is the mental health part. Ooh, this one runs deep. Okay, if you have older parents, they are probably against talking to a therapist. If you have parents that are religious, okay, they believe
God will get them through.
Jesus will fix it. Just pray to him. I saw a shirt the other day that said, I have Jesus and a therapist or something like that.
Oh, that's cute.
Right. Like,
that's cute.
I feel like Jesus would be proud if you are seeking wise counsel from others. Yeah. And that is, of course, if you find a good therapist, you're seeking their advice. It's absolutely necessary. But if you speak to anybody from an older generation, they'll tell you, oh, I don't want anybody knowing my business, and what happens in this house stays in this house, and don't go telling those people all your business, and you just need to, there's no such thing as mental health issues, really. Something just wrong with you.
And not only just older generation, but some of the younger generation who was raised by the older generation. Them too.
Yeah.
They don't believe in therapy. I'm going to say this again, like I said before. Therapy is therapeutic.
It is. Because at the end of the day,
the day going to end.
It's going to
end. No, definitely. Again, it seemed like everything is leading back to ignorance for me.
It is.
Because how are you knocking down something that you've never even tried? How are you knocking down something that you're not educated about? How are you knocking down something that you know nothing about? How? Ignorance.
And I think in our community too, some of this stuff, we see it as the other people do it. And we don't want to do what they're doing. That's for the white people.
Oh.
Like.
Ignorance.
Yeah. They be like, the therapy's for the white people.
Let me find out. We should just call this episode ignorance.
Right.
No, that is true. That is true. And I think that it's some type of stigma where it's like if you need therapy, like something is really wrong with you, like you have a serious problem and you need help that's deeper than therapy.
Yeah.
And a lot of Black people find it as embarrassing.
Mm-hmm. There's a stigma attached to it. Like, oh, you have a demon or something.
That's awful though, because I think we could all use therapy. I've said this before. It's nothing wrong with therapy. We all have things that we can get off our chest. We may not all have the same obstacles, right? Mm-hmm. We all don't have the same past. Some of us have childhood trauma. Some of us don't. Some of us have gone through some type of sexual encounters that we did not want to participate in. Some of us have not. Like, it's just different things. And it could be something as simple as a grown, Black, strong man with a strong back. His father could have been absent from his life. Mm-hmm. And that's something that is traveling with him now.
But why did you have to say that he had a strong back?
Because I think that sometimes masculine men feel like they're too strong for that, or it's like beneath them. So I had to
Right.
throw in a strong back.
Okay. Okay. I don't mind.
I saw a guy today that had a strong back that could have been good for you, but
Okay.
we'll talk about it later.
Why are you trying to get the number for me?
I don't know.
That would have been breaking the generational curse right there.
But like, I know some men. I know some men whose fathers were absent from their lives most of their lives, and it's affecting how they treat people today.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It has an impact.
And you don't tell me you don't need therapy. Bruh, you do need therapy.
And that's something that gets passed down. If they have kids, that's going to get passed down to your kids.
What's the thing that I sent you today? The meme that I sent you this morning about
the unhealed mothers are a daughter's worst. I don't know.
Who did body? What did I say? Because I want to say it right now. Let me see. I sent this to Jasmine this morning. I was cleaning out my phone.
Apparently she does that, which I don't do.
An unhealed mother is often a daughter's first enemy.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That is so true. Because she's unhealed. She's hurting. Mm-hmm. And then you're raising up this daughter who just needs love and guidance, right?
Never asked to be here.
Never asked to be here. And you are mad at the world. You're angry. Number one, you probably can never be happy for your daughter once she becomes all that she's going to become, right? Because she's everything that you're not.
Right.
She's everything that you're not.
Because you haven't taken the time to heal from the things that happened to you.
That got you to that point.
And I think we underestimate life's trials and tribulations. And if we feel like, oh, let me just pray about it. Yes, you can do that. Don't get me wrong. That's good for you. But you also need to work through your feelings too. Understand them so that you don't perpetuate those feelings to your children. Because if you don't deal with that, you're going to take it out on them, whether you know it or not.
Yeah. And I know some people who have been in that situation. Some people I know, some people I don't know. I've seen them like on Instagram and TikTok. They keep their children away from the lady who raised them.
Yeah, from their grandparents.
They keep their children away because they protect them, and they say, I will never have my kids be exposed to what you exposed me to.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of love. Mm-hmm. That takes some unconditional love, and that takes a lot of strength. Because how many times you see mothers out here abusing their kids, and the kids still cry for mommy?
Yeah, because your mom is your mom, right? You always gotta want that love and acceptance from them. They're your mother. You have a bond like no other. You
were with her.
Carried her. Mm-hmm. I mean, she carried you. You carried her. You carried her too.
Well,
afterwards, right? Exactly. And so it's a hard relationship, and generationally speaking, if that's not healed in your previous generation, it's going to continue on if you don't decide to be the one to stop it.
Mm-hmm. Look at what's that movie with Precious? Look at how bad her mom treated her.
I know. Ooh.
You can't tell me that her mom grew up with a good mother. She just couldn't.
No, there's no way.
She could not have. Look at how bad she was to Precious. How she abused her.
I only watched that movie one time. It's not one of those movies where like, let's watch Precious. No. Very sad. Very depressing.
Yeah.
No. Ooh.
Yeah.
That's so bad.
So I think that's one of the generational curses. I mean, that's not necessarily healthcare related.
It is. It's mental health care.
Well, true.
Your mental health. If that's not right, we already talked about that. You know.
I feel like that's one of the curses that definitely needs to be broken. At some point, you have to stop the BS.
Yeah.
You have to stop it.
You do.
There's no need for you to be throwing things at your kids. I watched some of this growing up in my family. It wasn't my household because my mom didn't do that to us. All that my mom had to do was say, do you want something to cry for? And we cut it out. The crying stopped. We didn't get beat, right? So you throwing things at your kids, going upside their heads with stuff. Like, this is all physical abuse.
Yeah, it is.
This is physical abuse. Like, and you do it to your kids, and then they have kids, and then they think that that's the way that you have to discipline them, and you just like beating them. What's the difference between that and elder abuse?
I don't know. This is all trauma. And unfortunately, when you abuse your kids in that way, they associate their caregivers and that with love and how they're supposed to be loved. So when they get older, they seek out partners that do the same thing.
Partners that's going to be whooping Nate.
Right. So we just saw it, we filmed 2 episodes in our sessions, but we just saw earlier today the video of Diddy beating Cassie down by the elevator.
Beating her.
Horrendous.
And she didn't fight back. You can tell she was used to it.
Yeah.
Or she was extremely afraid. He's going to get his.
Do you think that is something that he just started doing? Or do you think that's something he learned growing up? Either from watching someone in his family do it, I don't know. I don't know what he saw.
Well, when it comes to him, I'm not sure, because he's a cocky mother effer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And money probably just went to his head. And a lot of times when people get money, they do become abusive because they
feel like they're untouchable.
Yes. They're on top. They're untouchable. And whoever they're messing with becomes an investment.
Yeah.
So when it comes to that, I don't know if he witnessed it growing up. I really won't put my money on it for sure. But I do know what he probably did witness growing up is men who were on top, like Ike, who beat Tina.
Yeah. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me mad. I'm going to pray for her because this being exposed is probably just PTSD for her.
Absolutely.
And I knew when she said it the first time that she wasn't lying.
Yeah.
And that's why he paid her off so fast.
Oh, he paid that thing. Because there's more footage of other things, I'm sure. And what's weird is this took months for it to come out.
Somebody
after she
got the balls to release it.
Yeah. Whoever he paid off, that payment must have expired.
Somebody had the balls to release it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that she's not dead.
Me too. Because I think that was after she had like a black eye after that.
Yeah.
And my thing is, if you're so brazen and bold to do this as someone who is in the public eye, where you know there would be paparazzi that could take pictures of her, she would be going to events, whatever. Like, there's no limits to what you could have been doing, or what you was doing.
Child, please. And speaking of this topic, generationally, me personally, growing up, my stepfather, I've never seen him put his hands on my mother. But yet, there were other women in my family who have had encounters where their spouses or their significant other had their hands put on. My mom was the crazy one. So she was the one who was going to gut you or cut you if you put your hands on her. So that's why she was a survivor.
Got him like
right?
fish.
Nobody, yeah.
Uh-huh.
So nobody messed with her. But generationally,
yes, generationally. Yes, the Dictionary of Kemp.
Hello. If you grew up watching your parents fight physically,
tussle,
or watching your dad beat your mom to a pulp, and then she stayed there, what are you thinking? You are either thinking one of two things. I am never going to be in a situation like that. Mm-hmm. Never. I'm going to break this curse with me. I'm not tolerating that. Or, like you said earlier, that's love.
Right.
And
that's normal.
It's normal to get beat, and then my dad brings in gifts for my mom. Like, he really does love her. He just lost the temper. And this is why, if you women or you men out here are allowing your significant other to beat you, you should never do that in front of these kids, child.
Well, first of all, you shouldn't be doing it. But especially
if they allow it.
Yeah, I mean.
Excuse me. There's some people who will allow it. And you shouldn't do it in front of your kids. And for the men that's beating their women, would you want somebody to beat your daughter like that? Or your mama or your sister?
I would hope that you are also not beating your daughter like that, because a lot of the times, if they are willing to do it to their significant other, they are more than likely beating their kids as well.
I hate this world.
I do too. So evil. So wrong.
I've never witnessed that though, because my mama didn't play them games. She was like, Martin mama, slicing and dicing.
You and this Martin mama slicing and dicing today. Nah, my mom didn't either. And I never saw anybody putting a
Because
paws
your
on
mom
her.
was like my mom. She
Would definitely slice and dice with her little self.
You don't know how many times we went to the airport and my mom had to hide her pocket knife in a pot for a plant because she forgot to take it out of her pocketbook.
Oh, in a pot for a plant.
Yes.
I thought you said and a pot for a plant.
We would get it when we went back.
It would be there?
It would be there, yeah.
I mean, because nobody's looking at plants for her switchblade.
Yeah, it would be there. I can actually bring it for show and tell next episode because I took it. Yeah. Mama didn't play them games. Generationally. Jesus, how do I say it? Generationally. Okay? Generationally. I don't play them games either. I be acting crazy, y'all. I be twitching.
Boo better watch out.
Boo don't play with me.
And generationally, I don't either nowadays.
Okay? Wait, she said nowadays.
There was a time. But I actually didn't play the games at that time either because I got the hell out of there.
You didn't play those games. I
didn't have a blade on me.
You didn't have a blade, but if we're being truthful, you just tolerated more than you should have.
I did. I should have been slicing and dicing.
She should have.
So for the future ones,
I tried to hand her the knife. She wouldn't take it.
I will be slicing and dicing.
Don't play with her. Don't play with her.
Right.
All right. We got anything else to say?
Be the person that breaks the generational curse. Do the right thing. Go to the doctor. Get your checkups. If you are having symptoms for something, get it checked out. Don't be afraid to have these screenings because you're afraid to find out. It's as simple as that. Take care of yourself. Your health is your wealth.
Don't beat your partner. Don't let your partner beat you.
Yeah, don't do that either. And go to the dentist.
Go to the...
I can't.
And make sure your stomach is on a hush.
I like mine. It's like, ugh.
All right, well, I guess that's it. Thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
Snitches.
Break them generational curses.